Hello, friends. It's the Carnivore Rabbi here, as always, to meet, pray, and love. When you're a carnivore, you have to say no to a lot of foods in life. You go to the office, you're going to say no to the pizza. If you go to someone's house for dinner or a party, you're going to say no to the pastries and the breads and the cake. Some things are harder to say no to than others. If you're with family members and Aunt May's wonderful pecan pie and she's pressuring you to eat it, you're going to have to say no, and that's hard. But here's another way to think about it. Saying no to one thing is saying yes to many other things. We say no to certain foods so that we can say yes to living with greater health, so that we can say yes to spending more quality time with our friends, our loved ones, our family. We say no so that we can say yes to being more energetic, more creative, more active. We say no so that we can say yes to a longer life filled with wonderful experiences and health and vibrancy. That's always true. In fact, in much of life, whenever we say yes to certain things, we're saying no to other things. There are trade-offs all the time. Think about it. When you spend time with your family, or go to a movie, or go to a parade, or some sort of outing, you're saying no to doing work. In today's economy, we can work all the time. We can work on our phones, our computers. If we don't do that, we could be driving Uber. You can work all the time. So when you say yes to certain things in life, you're saying no to many other things. That's the way to think about it. And in fact, I have found that as a carnivore, I say yes to much more in life. I'm more optimistic, I'm more positive, so I say yes to more adventures. I say yes to other people's dreams, other people's ideas. I'm more supportive and loving. That's what happens when you're a carnivore. Sure, you say no to certain foods, but you say yes to so much more in life. And I have found that's true with many other carnivores. I've written several books, and they were wonderful. But when you write books, you have to go get endorsements. You have to get blurbs from famous authors and famous people. And I found that almost all of them say no. You have to beg and beg, and then you get lucky every once in a while, and somebody says yes. But almost all of them say no. What I found with carnivores, however, is everyone says yes. I'm a small YouTuber right now, but I've reached out to some fairly big names for interviews or conversations, just even off the record, and everyone has said yes. It's remarkable, and I was shocked. I was expecting no's. I was preparing. When you've written enough books and been rejected for certain ideas and certain themes, you get used to hearing no, and that's an important skill in life. But everyone said yes. I credit that to the sense of positivity and optimism and kindness that permeates this community. And it starts with our food. And in fact, on a broader philosophical level, when you say no to unhealthy foods, you say no to carbs, you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to life. You're saying yes to doing more, to living a deeper, more meaningful, more joyful life. That's the key. We always are saying no, and we are always saying yes. There are constant trade-offs. So be mindful of it. So often in life, we are saying yes or no based on somebody else's ideas, somebody else's goals, somebody else's agenda. When you're a carnivore and you take control of what you eat, you're saying yes to yourself, and you're saying no to what other people are selling you or pushing you. Say no to carbs. Say no to unhealthy foods and unhealthy addictions, and say yes to yourself. You'll be happier, you'll be healthier, and you'll feel better. And if you find this is true, tell me, what have you said no to in life so that you can say yes to something more important? I think it can make a tremendous difference for each and every one of us.